Hello and welcome to UFC Fight Night 167, Anderson vs. Blackowitz 2. Real quick, I just want to mention how we did last week on UFC 147, Jones vs. Reyes. We went 10-2, which is a great week. The judging in Houston was absolutely terrible, but it ended up working out in our favor almost every time, so I can't complain about it too much. I definitely thought Reyes won the fight, rounds 1, 2, and 3, Jones 4 and 5. Other than that, the card was good. A couple knockouts, a couple close decisions. Can't complain about that as a UFC fan. This week, we move on to UFC Rio Rancho, Anderson vs. Blackowitz. Not the best card. I like the main event, but other than that, just an absolute average card here from Dana White in the UFC. First fight of the night, we have Mark De La Rosa, 11-3, versus Paiva, 18-3. Both of them looking for their first win in the UFC, both 0-2 in the UFC, but against good competition. And I think that's what it's going to come down to, is who's faced the better competition in the UFC, and I think that's Paiva. So I'm going to take him as a good favorite, minus 205. Next up, we have Macy Chiasson versus Shanna Young. She was supposed to fight Nico Montano, but out with injury. She's facing Shanna Young short notice. I'm picking Chiasson here. I thought she was going to win against Montano, and I think this is an easier fight for Chiasson, so I think it's an easy win here, minus 150. Next up, we have a great fight between Kenney and Merab Devlishi. It's going to be a close one, but I got Kenney here with the better wrestling and I think better striking than Merab. So, Kenney. After that fight, we have an even closer fight between Ray Borg and Rogerio Bontorin. Both great prospects looking to climb the ladder with a win here. This fight's going to come down to the strength of Bontorin and his jiu-jitsu. I also think he hits harder than Borg. Borg relies on his wrestling a lot more, and if that doesn't work, then he's kind of screwed. I'm definitely taking Bontorin as the slight dog here, plus 115. Now we have an OG, Jim Miller versus Scott Holtzman. I don't usually pick against Jim Miller. I've picked him the last couple times, but I am here. I think Holtzman's a stronger and tougher guy, and if he can stay out of the submission of Miller, I think he gets the win here, minus 135. Next up, we have a young prospect in Nathaniel Wood versus John Dodson. This fight to me is an easy pick on Nathaniel Wood, minus 160. Dodson to me is already halfway out of the door of the UFC. He's faced good competition, but he's taken a lot of losses recently. I'm taking Nathaniel Wood. He's all around better at everything. He's younger, and I think the UFC is trying to get him a win here. Now we move on to a beast, Tim Means versus Daniel Rodriguez. Tim Means with 4 times as many fights and only 2 years older than Rodriguez. This will be another easy pick on Tim Means, minus 255. Just all around better than Daniel Rodriguez. I know I picked a lot of favorites on this prelim, but I think it's the right choice here. Now, moving on to the main card, we have a dead even fight between Lando Vannata and Yancy Medeiros. 2 veterans of the game coming off losses, looking to get back on the right track here. Both good strikers and all-around fighters, but I think Vannata has the edge in this fight with his cardio. I'm taking him minus 115 here. Next up, Contender Series own Brock Weaver facing Rodrigo Vargas. A good fight in my opinion. You never know what someone will do in their first UFC appearance. I honestly like fading people in this position, and with these odds, I'm definitely taking Vargas plus 220 here. Now, under the second women fight of the night, Montana De La Rosa versus Mara Romero Burrell. Not the best fight, in my opinion. I think the UFC is just looking to get De La Rosa a win here and get a women's fight on the main card. To me, Romero Burrell is kind of a weak opponent, 15-6. Definitely have to pick De La Rosa minus 170 in this one. Maybe I use her as a parlay builder. Now we have an interesting one here at light heavyweight, Devin Clark versus Daquan Townsend. Devin Clark has been training with John Jones at Jackson's this past camp. He's a decent all-around fighter, a little wrestling heavy, but to me, he's the pick here. Townsend only really has the rare chance of swinging wild and knocking somebody out, and I don't see Devin Clark allowing himself to get in that position. Definitely Clark minus 300 here is the easy pick. Next, a weird but entertaining fight between an OG, Diego Sanchez, one of my favorite OGs, versus backflipping Mikel Pereira. Both looking horrible in their last fight, honestly. Mikel Pereira doing backflips, taunting, and then losing to Tim Conley. Diego just getting absolutely bodied by Michael Chiasson in an unfair fight. But I'm still picking Pereira here by first round knockout. I think he's not going to try to look as flashy, and Diego's chin has been gone for a while now, so all it's going to take is one good punch or kick to sleep Diego. Last but not least, the main event in the best fight of the night in my eyes, Corey Anderson versus Jan Blackowitz. Both tough fighters on a streak right now. Corey Anderson just beating Johnny Walker, Blackowitz beating Ronaldo Souza. It's going to be a battle to see who's next for John Jones. And I'm riding with the dog, Polish power, Jan Blackowitz. Corey Anderson's all wrestling, all pace. Blackowitz has a pretty good cardio, and he has great wrestling defense and big hands. Corey Anderson, just something about him is, I don't think he's ever going to be a champion. His attitude's off. I'd like to see Jan get the win and get the shot here against John Jones. Thanks for listening, and hopefully I get better and we win some fights. See you next week. Thank you.